Double unders. Wait, what are double unders? Double unders, or dubs as they're also known, is a way of jumping rope, but instead of the rope passing under the feet once for each jump, it passes under twice. Oh well, that doesn't sound too hard. Oh wait, it actually is. Hello and welcome to the video. For those of you new to my channel, my name's Pete, and for the past 2 months I've been suffering from elbow tendonitis. For those of you who regularly watch the channel, I am aware I'd say this about 20 times a video, but this time it is actually necessary. Well, sort of. So for the past 2 months, unable to perform my regular training program, I've found myself reacquainted with an old nemesis, the jump rope. I actually do not do CrossFit myself, but I find myself fascinated with the sport and what these guys can do. Double unders have always been something I wanted to learn. The guys make them look so effortless, and they look like a great alternative to burpees, which is also another nemesis of mine. I've tried to learn double unders in the past, however I usually get frustrated, throw a tantrum, and end up quitting within a couple of days. What they make look so effortlessly easy, if you've ever tried them before, is, well, bloody hard. However, due to my recent injury, I told you it was necessary, I have had some extra training time in my hands and thought it was time for me to learn double unders, whatever it takes. Now I know there are hundreds of tutorials online, as I have pretty much watched them all. However, having recently learned this fancy skipping skill, I discovered some personal methods that really worked for me that I didn't see anywhere else, as well as lots of mistakes I made along the way that you can avoid and save yourself a lot of time and go from this to this. I wanted to make this the one video that you needed to watch to learn double unders, so you didn't have to spend hours upon hours scrolling the internet hoping that there was some kind of secret double under tip that you were missing that would help you learn the new skill. I want to share you all the tips that have helped me learn the skill, as well as all the mistakes I have made, and I guarantee that if you watch this video all the way through, by the end of it, you'll be double undering in no time. Double undering? Anyway, let's jump straight in, no pun intended. Tip number 1 is to get tennis elbow. Okay, that's the last joke, I promise. Let's get serious. So let's start with the rope. A normal skipping rope will not suffice. You're going to need a speed rope, which will enable you to jump with speed. I would like to go into great depth about different types of ropes, but at the end of the day, I don't think it matters too much, and you can end up spending more time researching and looking into every specific type of rope rather than just getting one and start practicing. I have the Sonic Boom rope, which is fantastic. It has 2 handles and a rope, so I'm stoked. But seriously, if you just type in double under skipping rope into Amazon, you will see lots and lots and lots of different ropes in there. Just find one you like the look of and that is in your price range, order it, and you are good to go. Now we have our rope, we need to set our rope length. This is once again something people seem to have personal preference, but a general consensus seems to be around the nipple or armpit area. All you need to do is stand on the middle of the rope and pull it up to your nipples and you're good to go. Once again, try not to overcomplicate things. This is going to be mistake number 1 that I made, and that was constantly changing the rope length and rewatching videos and seeing if the rope length made a big difference. It's more important to just consistently practice than what kind of rope you have, how long the rope is. Just get the rope, get it to this length, and that's it. Learn from my mistake. So now you have your rope and it's set at the correct length. You're now going to have to schedule in when you're going to practice. And I think this is where a lot of people go wrong, including myself in the past, and that is scheduling your double under practice with your workout. I would predominantly try to learn double unders after my workout, or even a little bit before, but the emphasis is I'm going to do a workout and double unders is kind of accessory movement. Not only are double unders a new neurological motor skill, they are also a high intensity cardio exercise. It's equivalent of trying to learn the guitar while riding a bike. There's a lot going on, and not only is it a skill, it's also a tiring skill, so you need to be as fully energized as possible. So I would highly suggest practicing double unders at the beginning of your workout when you're fully energized, or even better, I would probably suggest practicing double unders completely separate, either on a different day or in a different part of the day from your workout completely, so you can really get the best out of your practice. Tip number 2 is going to be practice little and often. If you're like me, you probably haven't jumped rope since you were probably in primary school, and unlike riding a bike, jumping rope doesn't seem to be a transitional skill. Alongside the technicality of jumping on 2 feet within rhythm, it also absolutely obliterates your calf muscles, and this leads me to mistake number 2. Mistake number 2 I made was practicing for too long. As I already mentioned, I haven't been able to fully train the past couple of months, so I went in fully optimistic and ready to give it my all to learn double unders, and I think I spent about 45 minutes trying to practice the first day I went in there, and it was such a big mistake. My calf muscles were so sore the next day that I honestly couldn't practice double unders for about 2 weeks afterwards. I am not even joking. I couldn't go for a run, I couldn't do anything. They were obliterated. did. It's such an impactful, repetitive movement that I would highly suggest setting yourself a max time limit of about 5 to 10 minutes of double under practice a day. You may feel like you can do more, but really you need to build up that strength in your calf muscle. Like, I feel like I'm a pretty fit and active dude. I filmed the B-roll for this yesterday, and that involved doing a little bit extra jumping than I've been doing regularly, and I can feel my calves are on fire now, and I've been jumping rope now for like 2 months. So yeah, honestly, practicing little and often is way better than practicing once every 2 weeks. So don't make the same mistake I did. So how to practice? As I mentioned before, I hadn't jumped rope since being in school, and I had never even jumped with 2 feet, which I think is a bit more unnatural and difficult to learn than jumping from one foot to the other, which is kind of the regular way we learn to skip in school. For this first session, I would not even use a rope. I would just work on getting the correct body position. So I would perform ropeless jumps. Jumping cues for ropeless jumps are jumping off the balls of your feet. You want to keep an upright position with your body long and relaxed. Find a focal point and lock onto that. This will help keep balance. Practice jumping. After about a minute, you're probably ready to die. That's good. That means you're doing them right. Once you're comfortable doing ropeless jumps, I would then start incorporating ropeless jump taps. This replicates the movement with the rope by double tapping your legs. If you're doing it right, you kind of resemble a penguin about to take flight. For the first day or two, I'd honestly get confident and proficient in doing these movements. Get your calves strong and ready to start using the rope. Once you can keep good strict form doing ropeless jump taps, you can do about 100 in a row, then you're ready to do single unders. Once again, you're going to want to use the exact same position that you've been using for the ropeless jump taps. Body position, relax, long, find a focal point. I actually found looking into a window very helpful as it enabled me to see the rope moving. Keep your elbows tucked by your side and practice single unders. Try and do 50 to 100 in a row. It's really not as easy as you may think. You may be tempted to try some double unders, and I encourage you, but most likely your form will almost immediately break down and you will burn you out of energy as you are so tense, and it's not even practicing the double under properly. So avoid doing this as much as you can. This once again is another mistake I did for a few days, which cost me a lot of time. So please learn from my mistakes.
It's all
wrists. Tip number 3, it's all in the wrists. Now this is something I didn't see mentioned in a lot of the tutorials I watched. Maybe I did miss it, but a lot of them seem to be focused on just getting the correct position, jumping, and the rhythm, which is all great, but my really aha breakthrough moment was when I started focusing on the wrist movements. To do this, I'd practice single unders, but really emphasize and practice whipping your hands down by your side. I picture a jockey riding a horse slapping the reins. That's what the movement resembles to me, not that I've ever raced a horse. Once you are comfortable performing single unders, I would say about 50 to 100 in a row. This is where the tutorial camps kind of split. Instead of saying what they said, as it didn't really help me, I'm going to tell you exactly what I did that really helped me and had me dubbing in a couple of days. So I'd continue to practice single unders and then really just focus on getting control of the rope, and then I would sporadically throw in a double under. This really boosted my confidence as I was able to keep strict form for each double under, which is the most important factor and which is usually what breaks down when people just start to go from 0 to hero with the double under. Relaxed proper form causes less stress on the body and will prevent you from fatiguing so fast, and this is why CrossFit athletes can perform double unders during intense workouts. After a while, you'll naturally maybe throw a few more double unders in, so maybe go something like single, 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 double, double, single, 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 double, double, and honestly, after about 10 minutes of using this formula, I completed my first set of 20. Keeping your form strict and working on your single unders and concentrating on the wrist technique is really key to learning the double under. We all want to run before we can walk, which is exactly what I did and sent me backwards and lost me a month. So that's it. So I'm confident if you follow this guide and complete all the tips and pointers that I give in this video and avoid all the mistakes that I made, that you will be double undering in no time. A quick recap. Practice little and often when fully energized. Begin with ropeless jumps, then ropeless jump taps, then single unders. Once you are comfortable with single unders and have control of the rope, over time the number of double unders will naturally increase. Mistakes to avoid is practicing for too long, practicing at the end of a workout, using bad form, and trying to do double unders when you are unable to even confidently perform single unders with strict form. So I hope you found this video useful. Drop it a like if you did, and I'll see you guys in the next one.